Ariamer Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, the Shah of Iran, appointed 22 individuals as the Prime Minister of Iran. However, one, Mohammad Mosaddegh, has been the most controversial one. But why? Why is that the case? Most people in the United States learn one very simple story about Iran in 1953. The CIA overthrew the democratically elected Prime Minister, Mohammad Mosaddegh, and reinstalled the Shah.
Mosaddegh, back in 1953, democratically elected Prime Minister of Iran. He was overthrown by British and American interests.
The United States deposed Mr. Mosaddegh, who was an elected parliamentary Democrat.
In the middle of the Cold War, the United States played a role in the overthrow of a democratically elected Iranian government.
But before we even talk about the CIA, we need to fix the first assumption in that sentence. Mosaddegh was not elected by a nationwide democratic vote the way the Americans elect a president. Iran at the time was a constitutional monarchy. The prime minister was not chosen through a national popular election. The position came out of parliamentary politics and was either introduced by the Shah to the parliament for ratification or was appointed by the Shah after receiving support from the Majlis, which is Iran's parliament. So the first question people should ask when they hear the phrase democratically elected prime minister is very simple. Elected by what national election? Mosaddegh himself was appointed by the Shah of Iran as the prime minister. Now let's talk about the political environment in which Mosaddegh rose to power. In 1950 and 1951, Razmara was the sitting prime minister of Iran. He was against the radical changes in favor of nationalization of Iran's oil industry, as he believed the country lacked both the expertise and the infrastructure to take full control of the industry. Due to his position, Mosaddegh, who was a member of parliament back then, threatened him that he will kill him himself or have him killed if he kept opposing the idea of nationalization. In March 1951, Razmara was assassinated in Tehran. He was shot and killed by Khalil Tahmasbi, a member of a militant Islamist organization, Fadayan Islam. The assassination took place inside a mosque while Razmara was attending a public ceremony. Razmara had been a central political figure in the debate over Iran's oil policy, and his murder dramatically changed the balance of power in Tehran's politics. Within days, the political landscape shifted, and soon afterward, Mohammad Mosaddegh himself became the prime minister. The assassination itself was not treated simply as a criminal act in the political atmosphere. Tahmasbi, the man who carried out the killing, later became the subject of political intervention, and he was eventually released after being pardoned by the parliament, which was politically dominated by Mosaddegh himself. Many of us in Iran call Mosaddegh the prime minister of terror. So, the political transition that brought Mosaddegh to power did not happen in a calm parliamentary environment. It occurred in the aftermath of a major political assassination that removed the sitting prime minister from power, who was opposed to Mosaddegh himself. At the same time, Iran in the early 1950s was experiencing growing ideological polarization. One of the major political forces operating inside the country was the Toudeh Party, Iran's Communist Party. The party had been created by Stalin during the Second World War and was designed to either take over Iran or at least disintegrate the country and annex it to the Soviet Union. The Bolsheviks stated clearly that to take over the Orient, the Soviet Union had to occupy Iran. We'll get to Toudeh Party later in a separate video. Throughout the late 1940s and early 1950s, the Toudeh Party expanded its influence in Iranian society. It organized within labor unions, student organizations, and professional groups, and it attempted to build networks within sections of the state apparatus, including all the civil services and the military. The Toudeh Party fully supported Mosaddegh as they saw his fight against the British a chance to increase the Soviet Union's power over Iran. During the Mossaddegh's premiership, the Toudeh Party became increasingly visible in public demonstrations and street mobilization. The party played a significant role in organizing political rallies and protests in Tehran and other cities. These demonstrations were not peaceful and contributed to an atmosphere of intimidation and confrontation in Iranian political life and society. This is an important part of the context because when people later describe the period simply as a struggle between democracy and foreign intervention, they often ignore one side of this intervention and the political pressures and ideological forces that were already destabilizing the country. By the early 1950s, Iran was dealing simultaneously with economic stress, intense parliamentary conflict, ideological polarization between nationalists, religious and communist movements, and an increasingly volatile political climate in the streets. Understanding that environment is essential because it shows that the crisis that culminated in 1953 did not appear out of nowhere and did not begin with CIA or MI6 intervention. It began in a system under severe political strain. In the next part, we move to the moment where the conflict becomes constitutional, the clash between Mosaddegh and the parliament, the push for extraordinary powers, and the controversial referendum that attempted to dissolve parliament illegally.